Witches Rule. Demon Assassins, Book 3. Written by Gimpel. Narrated by Hollie Jackson. Chapter 1. Jenna Neal sank heavily onto her airplane seat and kicked off her high heels, shoving them beneath the seat in front of her. With a small sigh of relief, she rotated her ankles to take the pressure off her aching arches. She'd always loved heels. The higher the better, and insisted on wearing them. Never mind, they definitely lacked a comfort factor. Once she'd shot past 6 feet, she figured it didn't matter if she added a few inches to her already overbearing height. A flight attendant leaned over to hand her a pillow and blanket. Jenna tucked the pillow behind her head as she listened to the safety briefing and estimates of their arrival time in London. She closed her eyes, but it didn't ease how tired and gritty they felt, and smoothed her too short denim skirt down her thighs. A red wool sweater and matching denim jacket finished off her outfit. She'd been so excited about getting out of Alaska and away from the layers she was forced to wear through the winter, she'd probably underdressed for the current jaunt. Less trendy clothes were tucked in her checked luggage, but they weren't exactly accessible. The last few days hadn't offered much opportunity for rest. She, Colleen Kelly Regis, and Roxanne Lantry Redstone, Roz, to everyone who knew her well, were the last of the demon assassin witches. Having escaped Arachna demons by a ridiculously narrow margin, again, the 3 of them were on their way to the UK where they could do it all over again. Jenna grinned ruefully. Demons running amok through the British countryside had thrown witches and the twin she together after 200 years of enmity. It had also netted impossibly hunky husbands for her sister witches, but that was beside the point. Staying alive was a much more front-and-center problem. Because Arachna demons had become so much more aggressive, everyone but her thought it would be best to travel separately. She hadn't agreed, but she'd been the one dissenting vote. As far as Jenna was concerned, there was always strength in numbers, but the others were convinced their current strategy would confuse the demons long enough for everyone to regroup on the eastern side of the Atlantic. Colleen and Roz were teleporting with their husbands. Neil, Colleen's Irish changeling familiar, was making his own way back home along with 2 Scottish changelings, Lear and Cray. Jenna had never been much good at teleporting, so she'd opted to fly commercial. It would place her arrival at least 12 hours after everyone else, but she could live with that. At least the first leg of her journey, from Fairbanks to Seattle and thence to New York, had been uneventful. Thinking about Arachna made her shiver, so she unfolded her blanket and draped it around her shoulders. Demons didn't get much worse than Arachna. As Abaddon's chosen henchmen, they played for keeps, and Abaddon was the biggest and baddest.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?